NT. Outdoor basketball court. Day the sun blazes overhead as a group of kids are immersed in a heated pickup basketball game. Sneakers squeak against the asphalt, the sound of the bouncing ball echoes, and the air is alive with chatter and laughter. At the edge of the court, sitting unnoticed, is a tiny caterpillar on a blade of grass, watching the game intently. This caterpillar, let's call him Carl, is no ordinary insect. From his vantage point, he watches the players with a mix of awe and curiosity. The quick movements, the coordination, the teamwork, it all fascinates him. Carl inches closer, his body undulating as he crosses the small patch of grass separating him from the court. When he reaches the edge, he pauses. The towering kids look like giants from his perspective, and the bouncing basketball seems like a meteor. But Carl is undeterred. He has a dream of playing the game. The game halts briefly as one of the players, a tall boy named Marcus, notices Carl on the court's edge. "Hey, check this out," Marcus calls to his friends, pointing at Carl. "A caterpillar wants to join the game." The others laugh, but Marcus kneels down, intrigued. "What do you say, little guy? You think you can hang with us?" Carl, of course, can't speak, but his determined wiggle forward seems to say it all. Marcus grins. "All right, let's see what you got." The kids gather around, amused by the spectacle. One of them fetches a bottle cap and places it in front of Carl. "If you're gonna play, you need a ball," says a girl named Tina. Carl inspects the bottle cap, his tiny antennae twitching. He nudges it experimentally with his head, and it wobbles slightly. The kids cheer as Carl pushes it further, his small body working tirelessly. "Whoa, look at him go!" Marcus exclaims. Carl maneuvers the cap with surprising precision, using his whole body to guide it along the ground. The kids, now fully invested, decide to set up a miniature version of the game for their tiny teammate. They create a makeshift hoop using a ring from a soda can and prop it up with sticks. "All right, Carl," Tina says, her voice full of encouragement. "Time to see if you can score." Carl assesses the setup. The cap is large compared to his tiny frame, and the hoop seems impossibly high. But Carl doesn't back down. With a series of determined movements, he pushes the cap toward the hoop. The kids cheer him on, their enthusiasm growing with every inch he covers. As Carl approaches the hoop, he faces his biggest challenge, getting the cap off the ground. He circles the cap, thinking. Then, with a sudden burst of energy, he flips his body, propelling the cap upward. It barely lifts, but it's enough to show his intent. "Come on, Carl, you can do it," Marcus shouts. Carl tries again, this time using a combination of his head and front legs. The cap wobbles into the air and lands just shy of the hoop. The kids erupt in cheers anyway, clapping and hollering for their tiny hero. "You almost had it," Tina encourages. Carl doesn't give up. He tries again and again, each attempt getting the cap closer to the hoop. The kids, now fully invested, create a chant. "Carl! Carl! Carl!" On what feels like the 100th attempt, Carl lines up the cap one more time. With every ounce of strength his tiny body can muster, he flips the cap. It soars through the air in a perfect arc and lands squarely in the hoop. The court explodes with applause and cheers. Marcus lifts Carl carefully on a leaf and holds him up like a champion. "Carl, the MVP," he declares, laughing. The kids gather around, grinning from ear to ear. For a moment, their competitive game is forgotten, replaced by the pure joy of witnessing Carl's determination and triumph. As the sun starts to set, the kids resume their game, but they leave Carl's makeshift court intact. Carl watches from the sidelines, his tiny body still, but his antennae twitching with satisfaction. From that day on, Carl becomes a regular presence at the court. The kids even create a mini jersey for him out of a piece of fabric, with C drawn on it. Though he can't play on their level, Carl's spirit becomes a symbol for the group, a reminder that determination and heart can bridge any gap, no matter how big. As the days turn to weeks, Carl continues to inch his way into their hearts. Whether it's nudging a bottle cap or simply being there to witness their games, Carl's presence adds a unique charm to the court. And while he may not be able to dunk or dribble, in the eyes of those